Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the lecture. So far, we understood the basics of civil engineering like cement, concrete, and all those things. Now we'll start with the sequence of the construction, which is the very first activity that we are supposed to do on the site, which is called as the site clearance. So we'll see how we are going to do that site clearance. And after that, we'll try to understand one by one all the sequence of a construction. Yeah. So this is the first activity that is done on any of the construction project. Let us say you started with your project, right? So what you are going to do directly, you're not going to start with the construction. Maybe the land what you have taken is not clean. There may be a lot of trees and lot of vegetations on the soil, right? So we need to clear off that. So that is the very first activity that we are supposed to do. So you can see it here, right? Let us say this is a land what I have, and there's a lot of trees here, so I need to cut down all those things, right? So that is the first activity. Next, the land is cleared with the excavator in removing the trees and the other plants. If there are any small plants and all, we'll try to cut it off. Yeah, the grader is used to spread the soil and to make a uniform layer. That means once you cut off all the trees, if there is any excess soil and all, right? I mean, if your ground is not uniform, if it is like up and down, in that case, what you're supposed to do, you have to fix one particular level, and then we are going to give a uniform surface. For that, we make use of this grader. So what this grader is going to do, it will spread the soil uniformly over the entire site what you have. And this is how it looks. So these are the small vegetations what you have, isn't it? So with help of this what is that, backhoe, you can try to excavate all these things, and then you can run the roller also, so that you're going to get a compacted soil. So it depends on the condition of the site what we have, but this is a very first activity that we are supposed to do. Yeah, so once this is done, the next activity is about the center line marking. Now to put it in a better way, yeah, see, for example, let us say this is a construction site what I have. Okay, so this is a big plot what I have. This is the entire plot is mine, but I want to construct a house, or let us say a building, somewhere in the middle part, somewhere here. Let me make use of only this much part, and only in this much part I'm supposed to do the construction, right? So this is my built up area. We call this area as a built up area because I'm building it here, right? So we call this as built up area, whereas this entire thing is my built up area, where this entire thing is my plot area. Okay, or my plot, you can say plot area or plot, right? So when this is my built up area, I need to do the marking, isn't it? Marking in the sense, say for example, when you construct any home or something, your columns will be somewhere here. Let us say my one column will come here, this is my second column, this is my third column, then another column is going to come here, another column is going to come here, another column is going to come, right? So in this way my columns are going to come, isn't it? So I need to do the, let me finish it off. So another column, so another column. So this is column marking I have given. Let me do the footing marking as well. So if you don't know what is footing, we'll try to see all those things, but for time being, I'm just trying to draw something here. Okay, anyhow, let it be. Okay, it will not look good. So these are the these are the column locations and footing marking we are supposed to do, right? So for that, what we need to understand the structural drawings. So I'll show you one particular plan, and we'll try to understand how the drawings has to be read. Okay, so I'll take you to one of the structural drawing. So whenever you work in any construction project, the first drawing that you're supposed to get is the architectural plan. In that, your complete plan will be there, like where is a bedroom, where is a kitchen, and all these things will be mentioned there. So that is your architectural plan. Now coming to the structural part, we get the first drawing, which is called as footing layout. You can see it here, plan, and it is written footing layout. So how do you understand this? Very simple. Don't get panic. I'll explain you how this has to be understood. So always remember, you can see something written here: A, B, C, D, E. So these are called as grid lines. Let me write it here. These are called as grid lines. Okay. So this is in horizontal, right? I mean, if I, this is horizontal. Yeah, right, because I'm going in this direction. So this is a direction what I'm following. So this is horizontal for me, and if I go in this direction, so if I go in this direction, it is a vertical for me, isn't it? Let me minimize this a bit. Yeah, So so this is horizontal. I have written horizontal grid line. Similarly, you can see a grid line somewhere here, like what is mentioned here. So it is written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is a plan what I have. So these are the grid lines. You can call this grid line as a reference line. Now to understand this in a better way, what I'm gonna do, I'll come here. So see, this is grid line A. It is coming here, and this is grid line 1. Where exactly these people are meeting? If I try to draw a line, so this guy is coming from here. Okay, and then there's one more person. I mean, the grid line 1 is coming, and these people are meeting exactly at this particular point, right? So this is that point. This is that point, isn't it? Now we'll try to understand what exactly it means. Okay, that means the name of this footing, like my name is Akshay, you people have your own name. In the same way, this particular footing, the name of the footing is F3. F means footing, and the number 3 is given. Okay, F3 is given. In the same way, how do you read this? The name of the footing is F5. Similarly, you have F3 footing. Okay, again you have the CF1 in the sense combined footing. In the same way, we have F2 footing, F2 footing, then we have F4 footing, we have F1 footing, and we have F1 footing, right? So these are the name of the footing. Now coming to the dimensions of this footing, what is the dimension of the footing? You can see something written here. See here, from here to here, what is shown? It is mentioned it is 7 feet. So this 7 feet is the length of this footing, and this 6 feet you can see. So this 6 feet is a width of the footing. If somebody asks you to read this drawing, can you read it? It's very simple. You should tell this is F3 footing, and the width is, the length is 7 feet, and the width is 6 feet. This much is clear. But usually, how we need to understand this is that whenever the surveyor or whenever we do the marking on the site, no, we take this center marking. You can see there's one grid line coming here. Yeah. So this is a grid line what I need. This is the center point what I need. So you can see where exactly it is meeting. This is that center. Okay, this is that center. Now from this center, what is the distance up to here? That is required for me. So how do I take care of that? This again very simple for us. See, from this center to here, what is the distance given here? It is 5 feet 1.5 inch. And from here to here, how much it is? It is not mentioned. But through simple mathematics, can I not do this? Very simple. Outer is 7 feet. So out of 7 feet, this is 7 feet. 7 feet minus 5 feet 1.5 inch is going to give me the distance from here to here. This is understood. In the same way, I want from here, see, this is my center again. From here to here, how much it is? It is already mentioned here. It is already mentioned. It is showing 3 feet. And in the same way, from here to here, it is mentioned 3 feet. You can see it here. So it is mentioned 3 feet, and it is mentioned 3 feet. 3 plus 3 is 6 feet. So overall, this is 6 feet, and this is 7 feet. So this much is clear. So just for our reference, I'll take one more drawing and we'll try to understand that, and then we'll get to the practical aspects of this. Right. Again, this is F5 footing. Very good. So how do you understand the size of the footing? So it is mentioned here that you have to provide a footing size of 8 feet 6 inch. So it's mentioned 8 feet 6 inch. Very good. And where is the center of this? This is the center for me. Yeah, the center is here. So you can see the two grid line meeting, that is a center for me. And from the center, how much I have to take on the left side? Again, it is mentioned here. From this center to the left side, it has to be how much? 3 feet 7.5 inch. And from this center to the right side, it has to be 4 feet 10.5 inch. Very simple. Now, if I come to the other side, where is the center point? Of course, this is the center. So I'll come here. From here to here, how much it is mentioned? 4 feet. Very simple. From here to here, how much it is mentioned? 4 feet. What is the overall size of my footing? The overall size of my footing is 8 feet from here. I mean, outer to outer. And from here, it is 8 feet 6 inch, right? So it's very simple. We understood how to do this. So practically how you do this on the site. So we'll go back to that now. So there is a separate course of mine on reading all this structural drawing. I've taken around 6 to 7 different structural drawings, and I've explained you all these things. There's a course by name Learn to Read Architecture and Structural Drawing like an expert. If you what you're supposed to do is, just in case if you're interested to learn, you can go to Udemy right? Akshay K will get around 7 to 8 courses of mine, and out of that there's a course which comes drawing reading. If you're interested, you can learn it from there also. Okay, there I have explained in more depth. Here whatever is required for the sequence of the construction, I'm explaining it here. Yeah, so now we'll go back to this, right? You got it. And before that on the site, what we are supposed to do on the site, we need to draw these grid lines first. So we understood how to draw the footing, but before that, see, you need to understand how to draw this grid lines on the site. Yeah, yeah. So what I'm going to do, see here, all these are my grid lines. So you can see a grid line here. Let me try to drag that grid line. Yeah, so this is one grid line. Okay, so this B is another grid line, this C is another grid line. So we need to do this grid line marking on the site. Okay, another grid line, and this is another E grid line. So first we'll mark this grid line on the site, and then we'll take the other one, that is one grid line we have it here, no? We'll draw it on the site in this way. Then the number 2 grid line we have, we'll draw that. Then we have number 3 grid line, we'll draw this. Then we'll draw number 4 grid line, then we draw number 5 grid line, right? So you got it. This is how you have to do practically on the site. Now how do you know the distance between the grid number A and grid number B? Again, it's very simple. It already mentioned here, you can see 4 feet. Yeah, you can see it here, 4 feet half inch from A to B grid line. From B to C it is 5 feet 8 inches. Good. From C to D it is 4 feet half inch. From D to E it is 14 feet 6 inch. Good. Similarly, from grid number 1 to grid number 2, the distance is mentioned here. So distance is 17 feet 4.5 inch. You can see it here, right? 17 feet 4.5 inch. Then from 2 to 3 it is how much? 4 feet 9 inch. Okay, 4 feet 9 inch. Then it is 5 feet 1 inch, 4 feet 0 inch, and so on, whatever is mentioned in the structural drawing, right? So this is 5 feet 1 inch and 4 feet. So with this, can't you do the same marking on the ground? It's very simple. So I'll explain you how it has to be done now. Okay, I hope this is clear up to here. So we'll go back to that now. Yeah, so now you look at this guy. So what these people are doing, no, they already kept the stone. So this stone will act like a grid line for you. To put it in a better way, see, let us consider, I'll write it first. Let me consider this particular stone, what I have it here, right? So I'll give the name to this stone as A. Yeah. Yeah. It's not visible. Okay. So this is A. This is B grid line. Okay. You can see the stones kept there. B. This stone represents C grid line. This stone represents D grid line. Then let us say this is E grid line. Okay, I'm taking some, I mean, we'll continue with this, and then we'll say this is F. Okay, understood? In the same way, on the other side also it will happen. Now, horizontal is done. We'll come to the vertical now. For the vertical, what I'm supposed to do, we'll go with this. Yeah, I'll give a name to this particular as 1, grid line 1. We'll give this as grid line 2. You can see the stones kept, isn't it? So the stones are kept in the same way, like whatever distance I showed you between the two grid line, the same is kept practically on the side. And for the same drawing, this particular marking has been done. 4 and this is 5. Got it? So this is how you have to do. This is how you have to do it. Again, if you want, let me draw the grid lines to that. So this is 1. Then from here to here. Okay. Then we'll go with this. Okay. No issues. Maybe if I'm missing, it's okay. in this. So you got an idea. These are the grid lines what you do practically. So this much is clear for us. Yeah. Next, after this, what we are supposed to do, then this is at center point. The, like, let us say this is grid number A. Let us say this is grid number A. Okay. And this is grid number 1. Okay. And now exactly what is the center? This is the center where it is meeting. I'll show you the practical video of this. Till then, just wait for some time. We'll understand the basics and then we'll get into that. So where is the center of this? This is the center. Good. And from the drawing, it will be mentioned right from here towards the right side. From here to the right side, it has to be, let us say, 3 feet. From here, it has to be 4 feet, let us say. Again, from here to here, it has to be, let us say, 3 feet. Again, from here to here, it has to be 4 feet 5 inch. So in this way, whatever is mentioned, we are going to do it on practically on the site. Okay, same. Again, here also it is same. Okay, from here to here, some distance will be mentioned. From here to here, the same, some distance in the same distance. Whatever you did, whatever marking you did here, right? The same you'll do it here. Whatever you did from this center to this outer, same you are going to mark it here. In the same way, you are going to do it from this center to here, from here to here. So once you do this, this entire will be a footing size, whatever footing size was there on the structural drawing, no? So the same you are going to get. This entire will be a size of the footing. Is it clear up to here? Yeah. Yeah, right. So we'll see. So whatever I explained, this is the next activity which is carried out at the site after all the preliminary things are done. That is, once you remove the trees, the whatever trees, small plants were there, you are completely cut off. And if you're supposed to do the filling, you're going to do the filling. If you're supposed to do the cutting, you're going to do the cutting. Next, the surveyor gives the center line of the each footing, and the site engineer, with the help of a string, that is dory and tape, carries out the line out at the site. Like whatever I explained, no, that center line, right? Like these two are the grid line. The center, this will be given by the surveyor in bigger projects. In the smaller projects, I'll tell you how it has to be done practically on the site. And then as a site engineer, I'm a site engineer. I have a structural drawing with me, and I know from this center it has to be 4 feet. From here it has to be 3 feet. From here it has to be 6 feet. From here it has to be 4 feet. I know to read the structural drawings. Based on that, I'm going to do the execution on the site. So each lines are drawn by looking the footing layout from the drawings, and the marking of the line is done with 3, 4, and 5 method. Now, what is this 3, 4, and 5 method? I'll explain you in the upcoming slides, right? So finally, once you do all that marking, this is how your footing looks. Now, for a timing, let us consider this is my F1 footing. Okay, let us consider this is my F2 footing. Let us consider this is my F3 footing. Let us consider this as F4 footing, and so on. How did I write all those things? Again, those things will be written in the structural drawings. Like you can see, F3, F5, F3, F2, F2, and whatever was written here, practically the same has been executed on the site, right? I hope these things are clear up to here. Yeah, so I've taken a small drawing here, and quickly we'll try to do that. By this time, you have developed the knowledge of how to read the structural drawing. Quickly try to do it on your own, and I'll also explain how it has to be done. So what the surveyor will give? The surveyor is going to give the grid line, that is your grid line A, and the grid line 1 is intersecting here. The surveyor is going to give this center point. Now, with the help of tape, what you're supposed to do, you are going to draw this grid lines, and we know the name of the footing is F1. And what is the size? From here to outer, it has to be 500 mm. In the same way, from here to here, it has to be 500 mm. The same marking I'm going to do on the side. Similarly, from here to here, it will be 500. From here to here, it will be 500. You got this distance, 500 and 500. Now we'll go in this way. That is, we are going to go this way. This way we are going to go, right? This way. So again, it is mentioned here that from here to here, it is 475 mm. Again, from here to here, it is 725 mm. You're going to do 725 mm marking. Here you are going to do 475 mm marking practically on the site. Again, 475 from here and 725. And finally, this is the size of the footing, what you are supposed to get on the, what was written in the structural drawing. And the same you are going to do the execution on the site, right? And that's how the footing size is. So entirely, this is 1 meter by 1.2 meter is the size of your footing. So again, these are the grid lines in a more animated way. So you're going to put with the help of this chalk powder, okay, you're going to put the grid lines, and this is how the grid lines are. Okay, let us say this is A and B, and let us say 1, 2, and 3 are the grid lines. And in this way, then all these footings, you can see footings, you're going to mark it practically on the side. So finally, this is how your entire site layout looks once you're done with everything. So this is one site what we have. This is how the marking has been done. We can see it here. Here another marking has been done. Now you have got an idea, right? So you can see it here. These are your grid lines, right? The one which is drawn here, no? See, this is the white one, right? So these are your grid lines. These are your, let us say, vertical grid lines, let us say. And for the horizontal, let us consider this as my horizontal grid lines, the one which has gone in this way. You can see this grid. They are not drawn completely, but it's okay, right? So these are your vertical grid lines. Same thing you can see here, no? These are your grid lines in this direction, and these are your grid lines in this direction. Yeah, these are your grid lines in this direction. Got it? So this is how you have to understand the structural drawings, and this is how practically things are done on the site. Now, one thing we did not understand. The thing is that whatever I explained you, it's correct. But the way of marking is not like this. There's a concept called as working space. So we'll try to see what is the working space all about, why we need to understand. We'll also try to understand the bill of quantities for the what is that, the scrapping works. Like I told you, to cut the trees and all, right? So there's something called bill of quantities. It will be written like what is the total quantity you have, and what is the price quoted by the contractor, and how he is going to do. We'll try to see both of these things, and then we'll try to see the entire video of practically on the site how this entire layout has been done. So I hope you have enjoyed the lecture up to here. We'll see you back in the next lecture. Thank you.